movies are not as good as this year's Netflix series, but they're also not that bad. Even though most of them aren't unique, there are some that are excellent and offered that you should really consider watching. Now let's start the video. Number 10. Indigo. It is a supernatural horror mystery film, directed by Rocky Soraya. The narrative centers on Zara, whose younger sister Ninda reveals herself to be an indigo, a person with the ability to see other realms. However, her new talents put her life at risk when an undetectable presence continued to annoy her. Zara, who also happened to be an indigo whose skills had been shut down, had to reopen them for the purpose of rescuing her sister. But when her powers resurface, she must confront otherworldly spirits and solve the mysteries of a terrifying past. This horror mystery centers on a family that is plagued by a demonic ghost. Even though it's not a perfect horror film, it takes the demonic concept and brings it to an entirely different level, creating some really spooky moments and an unsettling demonic portrayal. The film contains many genuinely scary scenes, adding to the mystery surrounding the supernatural events. Do give it a look if you enjoy scary movies. Number 9. Lift. It is a 2024 heist comedy film, directed by F. Gary Gray. The narrative focuses on a master thief, Cyrus, and his group, whose activities caught the attention of the authorities, but in exchange for their freedom, they ended up with Interpol hiring them for a thrilling high-stakes robbery in the air. Cyrus's crew must steal a gold vault from a plane before it gets to Jorgensen, a dangerous billionaire who is rumored to be handing off gold to an organization determined to cause mayhem by breaking into large countries' electrical and water systems. However, there are other difficulties, chief among which is the importance of seizing cargo during an airline flight. Plus, the mission is made more difficult when Cyrus' ex-girlfriend, an Interpol agent named Abby, joins the mission. To be completely honest, this movie is neither excellent nor terrible. Rather, it's the kind of entertainment that people enjoy watching occasionally on the weekends for fun. Therefore, don't anticipate a deep plot and action-packed heists, akin to those in films like Ocean 11 or television series like Money Heist. While there's nothing very different to be found in this sleek action film, it's entertaining and moves fast, with some enjoyable mid-air sequences. Number 8. 60 Minutes. It is an action thriller film, directed by Oliver Kienle. The narrative centers on Octavio, a mixed martial artist, who discovers he has just 60 minutes to make it to his child's birthday celebration. And if he doesn't, his ex-spouse will gain sole management of their child, Leonie. However, when Octavio withdraws from the boxing competition at the very last moment to go to his daughter's event, he must escape numerous disappointed individuals who placed money on the fight. Initially, Octavio's boss Paul attempts to track him down in order to force him to return to the arena for combat, but soon after, few gangsters start pursuing after him, as he flees into the chaotic streets of Berlin in an attempt to reach his daughter's birthday celebration. The movie uses amazing extra visuals that are overlaid over the main scenes, such as a map showing the distance and a timer running out. Additionally, there are several excellent fight scenes that are masterfully performed and have a John Wick movie vibe to them. Overall, it is an action film with a focus on mixed martial arts, with a basic storyline, but entertaining action. Number 7. My Name is Lo-Kewin. It is a 2024 romance drama film, directed by Kim Hee-jin. The plot centers around Kewin, a North Korean, who flees to China with his mother, but is split from her by strict Chinese officials. After being forced to escape once more, Kewin ends up in Brussels, a strange country where he must fight to exist and deal with poverty. But Kewin is motivated by his mother's final desire to find a place of freedom, and unintentionally runs across Marie, an ex-Belgian athlete, who also experienced terrible circumstances. They face their personal struggles together and become closer while they strive for a better tomorrow. It's a tale of survival, hopelessness, and faith that illustrates the hard reality of unauthorized immigration. The movie stays away from labeling any country, and instead concentrates on the harsh realities of being an outsider. Although it might not be ideal for all audiences, the film is unquestionably worth seeing for anyone seeking a quality film, supported by outstanding performances. Number 6. Spaceman. It is a 2024 sci-fi drama film, directed by Johan Renck. The film takes place in a futuristic era of the 1990s and tells the narrative of astronaut Jakub Prochaska, who abandons his wife and sets out on a perilous solo mission to Jupiter. After spending months alone in deep space, he comes across an enormous alien spider that ends up becoming his unthinkable friend. The two develop a strong connection over intellectual debates about the essence of love and the meaning of life, while the creature understands Jakub's thoughts and helps him solve his life problems. But there is a catch. The authorities on Earth keep the truth from him, which changes everything. This cosmological examination of love, relationships, and sadness transcends genres and is surprisingly fascinating at the same time. The film's central theme is the man's personal journey, which is visually stunning, but suffers from a narrative that frequently feels lifeless. Not everyone will enjoy Spaceman. The majority of the time, the tone is serious. There isn't much humor, yet it's never dull, regardless of the lot of observation and absence of action. Number 5. The Pig, the Snake, and the Pigeon. It is a 2023 dark comedy action thriller film, directed by Wong Ching-po. The story centers around Chen Kui-lin, a well-known hitman in the shadowy world of crime who discovers he is suffering from stage 4 lung cancer. Driven by his approaching death, Kui-lin chooses to surrender at a local police station and finds out that he ranks only third on the nation's most wanted list, far below famous criminals Hung Bi and Bullhead. In the last stages of his life, Kui-lin makes the decision to kill these two key criminals in order to make a lasting impact and leave a lasting legacy. But his assignment forces him to engage in deadly conflict with ruthless crime leaders and an unusual organization that prevents him from accomplishing his objective. The film is masterfully made, giving an empathetic portrayal of its egotistical, morally objectionable, and wickedly murderous main character. Although the plot may be a little disjointed, the end result is an exciting crime action movie that will probably confuse viewers just as much as it will entertain them. There are terrific action-packed fight moments that make Ethan Huan as Chen Kui-lin seem so darn cool, and the story itself will keep you fascinated the entire time. Number 4. Buck Shek. It is a 2024 crime thriller film, directed by Pulkit. This film is about an asylum house for girls, where they have been mistreated. Meanwhile, a tip on the operation reaches Vishali Singh, a striving reporter, who is trying to establish a reputation for herself and her media network. On the other hand, Vishali begins to look far to uncover the real story, while she meets numerous barriers as she attempts to reveal it. In her efforts, she enlists the assistance of a brave girl named Su Da and a helpful policeman, while confronting those in power linked to the cruelty. The narrative is based on a true story and highlights a horrific crime that devastated the nation's hearts and minds. The movie expertly paints a picture of a society in which these horrors often go unnoticed or overlooked. The performances, narrative, and screenplay all perfectly complement the overall tone of the movie and give it further depth. To sum up, the film's depiction of real-life issues, including abuse of power, bribery, exploiting, and regulations, makes it a must-watch. Number 3. Badland Hunters. It is a 2024 South Korean dystopian action film, directed by Hyo Myung-heng. The plot unfolds following a devastating earthquake that destroys the majority of South Korea. Following the event, those who survive gather into undeveloped civilizations, search for food for survival, and exchange commodities for various items. Unknown to the outside world, Namsan is a competent hunter who supplies food and safety for his fellow citizens in the wrecked city. Soon after he takes Su Na and an ambitious young man named Jae-sen under his care, a group of enigmatic people show up to take the girl away. Namsan and Jae-sen, however, discover their sinister scheme and set out to rescue Su Na from a crazy scientist who is doing bizarre experiments in an attempt to resurrect his child. The cast delivers strong humor and excellent action performances, and there are moments when the writing is too funny. The main negative aspect is that the film is overly predictable due to the storyline's extremely straightforward format and lack of surprises or subplots. However, when Ma Dong-seok plays an action role, you don't need to go into detail further because his presence makes the movie much more entertaining. Number 2. Code 8, Part 2. It is a 2024 science fiction action film, directed by Jeff Chan. The movie takes place 5 years after Code 8's events, where the LCPD redesigned its militarized robotics program to make the streets safe, swapping out weaponized robots for friendly K9 robots. The narrative opens with Connor completing his sentence in jail, while Garrett has assumed control over Tower's apartments, where he operates his ethical drug empire. Two new characters, Pavani and her elder brother Tarak, are living in poor conditions in this neighborhood. However, when Pavani witnesses her brother killed by a dishonest police unit, she turns to Connor for assistance in exposing the guilty people. Although this film is more enjoyable than the last one, it lacks impact, but it skillfully examines biases towards those with exceptional talents in a military society. The movie is almost entirely better than the first one. Its tighter plotline, which concentrates on the exciting sci-fi set pieces, delivers a gratifying viewing experience through stunning visuals and exciting action, backed by powerful performances. The film builds on the unusual sci-fi world created in the first film, creating opportunities for further narratives to be explored. Right now, it is on course to be one of the most watched Netflix movies of the year. Number 1. Damsel. It is a 2024 dark fantasy film, directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. The main focus of the story is Elodie, a young woman who believes she will tie the knot to the ideal prince, but is unexpectedly dumped into a cave, where she learns she will instead be an offering to please a violent dragon, rather than a princess. The narrative progressively reveals that Elodie is not the only person to be given to the dragon, and that there is a mystery behind a sacrifice, while she makes every effort to save herself. The filmmaker does a good job of building suspense and keeping the action focused on Elodie in the caves, raising the emotional risks and the pace of the film. The audience may find the maze-like caves somewhat perplexing, despite the maps Elodie discovers, and there are strong hints of an interactive framework in the way she advances through each stage of combat and learning, including the usage of equipment. Even though the story has been heard many times, Damsels gives a unique take on the traditional fantasy tale, along with a story full of twists, fantastical settings, and well-developed characters to make it stand out and make it an engaging watch for fantasy fans. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series.